Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. About an hour ago, I got off the line with someone who has inside information of the Errol Spence training camp and what occurred. Now, I know a lot of you have had the opportunity to see a video that recently dropped. I don't know this YouTuber. I don't know this doctor. I just know that a lot of people sent me the link and they wanted this channel to comment on it. Now, this individual is claiming that Errol Spence has neurological damage. The reason why I chose not to speak on this is because I feel it is extremely irresponsible to try to diagnose anybody without actually seeing them. That makes no sense. You haven't seen this patient. You haven't ran a battery of tests on this patient. You haven't had the opportunity to actually talk to this patient, examine this patient, none of that. Yet you feel that you can diagnose him by simply looking at him. I thought that that was extremely strange. I made no comments on it. Jason made no comments on it. I think whoever that person is in that channel that's just completely irresponsible, and they should take that video down immediately because it implies that his parents allowed him to just go out there and get in the ring. It implies that they did not run a battery of tests on Errol Spence after the car accident. It implies that the Nevada State Athletic Commission is negligent in terms of testing fighters to make sure that they're good to get into the ring. All of that occurs, guys. So for anybody to come and say that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And oh, by the way, more than likely, Errol Spence was checked out by a doctor after the fight as well. So these comments, they make no sense. So this individual reached out to me because they wanted me to be aware of what actually happened. So Errol Spence, during his training camp, he actually suffered a rib injury. That rib injury prevented him from sparring the last 6 weeks of camps. Basically, he didn't spar during his camp. He just trained. Now, of course, sparring is a part of your regimen. And because of that, it made it more difficult for him to lose the weight. If some of you guys may recall, Errol was still out running in Las Vegas. He was running with Frank Martin. There's a picture out there. Frank Martin had on shorts, no shirt. Errol was still running with sweats and a long shirt on. It had to be extremely hot out there in Las Vegas. It was because he was still trying to lose weight because he wasn't able to do the necessary sparring required. Errol, based off the information that I got, started training camp at 170. So he had to come down 23 pounds. Without the sparring, that affected him significantly. So that was part of the reason why he didn't have the same level of power that, Terrence mentioned that, man, this is all he has. Errol looked off balance. His timing wasn't there. That's partially because he didn't have the opportunity to spar. That's where you're going to fine tune your game plan. That's where you're going to do a lot of those things. And that's probably the reason why Errol immediately said, I want the rematch, hopefully in December. And I know I'll do better because Errol knew that he hadn't had the opportunity to prepare as he should have. Now, I want to say this. I'm not saying that Errol wins that fight. Because Terrence Crawford looked damn good in that fight. And there were a number of things that Terrence Crawford was doing in that fight that I felt like Errol could have adjusted to, and he didn't adjust to. So this video isn't to discredit Terrence Crawford. It isn't to take the win away from Terrence Crawford. In my eyes, Terrence Crawford is the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Going into a rematch, I would pick Terrence Crawford to win. But it does explain the performance of Errol Spence. And if we look around YouTube, we see a number of people. I believe I saw, if I'm not mistaken, or at least someone told me, if I'm not mistaken, that Danny Garcia said that he didn't look right. I saw that Bozy Ennis said that something looked different. There were a number of people that said something didn't look right with Spence, and people were saying it as he walked out and during our fight party before the fight even started. Like, something looks wrong. He looks like he's high. His eyes look glossy. So something looked off from the beginning. A lot of people recognized that when he was going to the ring. Some people just maybe thought it was nervousness. I don't know what it is, but this source that I feel very confident in is telling me he had a rib injury and did not spar. You guys are probably going to start hearing this from different sources as well, as I expect it's probably going to start to get out there a little bit. But again, I don't want anybody coming in the comment section talking about we're trying to disparage, discredit Terrence Crawford. We're trying to make up an excuse for Errol Spence. I just told you, I believe Terrence Crawford wins this fight because the style. I always thought the style was going to be a challenge. I leaned toward Errol because I thought he could overcome that, but I always thought the style would be an issue for Errol that he was going to have to overcome. And Terrence looked good. I mean, he looked good. There's just no other way to put it. Number one pound for pound fighter in the world. But two things can be true. Terrence can be the man and look good, but also there was something that wasn't quite right with Errol. Both things can be true. I personally believe that Errol may push. I think he's going to push for the rematch. And I didn't get this. This is no inside information. I think he's going to push for the rematch. But it's just because of this information that I just received that Errol had this rib injury. And then coming down from 170, that's specifically why he was adamant or made the comment twice that, it was good shit. He was the better man, but, I will do better. And I want it at 154 pounds because he'll have, number one, the opportunity to heal. Number two, he won't be coming down from as much weight. It was just hard for him to make the weight. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section. I know there's going to be people in there from Terrence Crawford fans to saying that, oh, we're making excuses, this, that, and the third. I'm not. I thought long and hard about putting this video out because I knew that, some people would try to come back and say that, but I trust this person. This person is an authentic person. This person gave me this information because they knew that I am an authentic person and I'm not going to come up here and just disseminate information that I feel is not credible or a lie. Right. So that's the information I got. Do with it what you will. But that is what is being told to me in terms of why we saw the performance from Errol Spence that we saw that night. So you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Errol Spence looked off. Could a rib injury have explained that? That's what's being told to me. And this person, like I said, is credible. Very credible. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and I am